as time flies by, you'll open up your eyes wide. You feel it's gonna go your way. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. Hey, 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 it's a brand new day.
Lily van Tongeren is a volunteer at AAA Animal Rescue Centre, the official rescue centre here in Marbella. And yes, it's a rescue centre, it's not an extermination point. Many places, after 10 days, if an animal isn't reclaimed, will be put down because they don't have the facilities. That is not the case with Marbella because, as we say, we have AAA. But AAA is only in existence thanks to the volunteers who really are incessant in their endeavours. Lily, welcome back.
Thank
nice
you
to
very
actually
much
chat
for
with
having
you
me.
as opposed to you just doing your spot.
Yes.
This morning you've already been up first thing in the morning and you went to Malaga to the airport. Now, to go to the airport is a chore in itself, but you do this often, fortunately, because you're getting a lot of adoptions for the animals, but abroad, Holland being one of the big takers, no?
Yes.
Tell us a bit more about how you are shipping dogs out and what that entails.
Well, the two doggies that I took this morning, they went to Finland. What we do is, there is a Finnish organization that helps us in Finland to find parents for the dogs, as well as in Germany. So most of our dogs will go to Germany or to Finland. What happens is that they are then being looked after medically, they get chip, passport, etc., etc. Then we'll find a flight companion, which is always very important. We always need people who fly to some of the countries to just kind of accompany the animals. That means that we will bring, when they're ready to go, we will bring the dogs to the airport like I did this morning. And we will meet the people at the airport. We check in with the people. The people just go through the security. They don't have to do anything else. And we will bring the dogs to the other part of the security because the cages have to go through the x-ray separately. We cannot put the cages through with the dogs in them. So we take the dogs out, the cages go through the security x-ray, the dogs go in again, they get closed, and they go into the cargo, which is a special cargo, of course.
So the people who are accompanying the dogs go straight in their flight as normal, but when they get the other side, they'll be picking up the dog to deliver it then to whoever is adopting the dog.
Yes, usually the new owners or the people from the organization in Finland or Germany or whatever country will be there at the airport to meet them. So they don't have to take them anywhere except the dogs will be brought by the luggage and they will just take them on a cart outside, and outside they will be met by the new owners.
So it's quite a system, and the paperwork is quite entailed in the sense you have to get licenses, the dogs have to have their passports, they have to prove they've had all their vaccines. A lot going on, isn't there? Yes, we'll be learning more about this lovely little pup very soon. So Lily, this morning you drive to Malaga, you take the dogs, you do that. Obviously that's quite a few hours of your morning gone.
Yes.
Then on a Tuesday, Lily goes and brings the dog to our TV show. Again, a lot of your hours gone. You're supposedly retired and living the good life on the Costa del Sol, but you are, without, I would say, a doubt, one of the most dedicated volunteers to AAA. There's a few Lilies in there, different names, different shapes, different nationalities, but the team is very strong, but it's needed. How many animals are in AAA right now, dogs and cats?
Dogs and cats together, just close to 600.
Wow! So you're full capacity, well, more than full capacity.
More than full capacity at the moment. Lately, there's a lot of pups have been coming in. A nest of eight pups were found in Guaro just a few days ago. They've been brought in. This one came with two more and the father. We had already different nests, so a lot of pups have been brought in. And unfortunately, the trouble is that, of course, we have the big kennels and the big area where the bigger dogs are. You cannot put those puppies there. We had one little chalet for puppies, but that's over full. So at the moment, we have to have all kinds of things that are not really fantastic, but we have to put them in the front, in the entrance. So when you walk in, you immediately are seeing the tents with the dogs underneath. And normally we wouldn't have that, but because we cannot place them anywhere else, that's where all the
And with
the
this heat, that must be quite difficult with the heat,
Yes.
keeping them cool, and having so many. Apart from donating funds, becoming a member is a big thing. If you could have that stable €5 a month coming in from as many locals as possible, that would at least take some of the pressure off, I think, maybe.
Yes, absolutely. The membership should be much higher than what it is. We did quite a bit of members last year, thanks to you, to that wonderful statement at that time. And but then, you know, when the urgency seems to go out of the newspapers or out of the news, it drops off. So I really like to urge people, please sign up as a member or virtually adopt a dog, which is a nice program as well. That will give us a bit of the stability and a bit of a sight of what we can get in every month, because as you know, it takes about €30,000 a month to run AAA with all those dogs and cats and everything else. And so membership is one of the most important and one of the easiest and simplest ways of supporting AAA, next to being a volunteer and coming to clean or to do whatever is necessary.
Walking dogs on a Saturday. Our intern Jerry, who's Finnish,
Yes.
has been volunteering for over 2 years at AAA for walking dogs, and he actually went to a lower school since he was 3 and organised that a lower adopted 7 virtual adoptions in the school, which is also a great way of you having a dog, even if you can't have a dog. But Lily, small dogs can be incorporated in our day-to-day. It's actually a lot easier to have a dog with taking a few things into consideration than people think. If you live in an apartment, for example, you can have a dog.
You can have a dog.
As long as you walk them or take a dog
Absolutely.
that's size according to the living space.
Yes, you wouldn't have a Great Dane in a one-bedroom apartment. But there are dogs of all sizes and all ages available to be adopted. And it's extremely important to look at your lifestyle and your living part where you live, but you will always be able to find a dog that will fit into your lifestyle. Some lifestyles will not allow a dog, so then that of course you would know. But you can have a dog even when you work. I mean, look at yourself.
Yes, I know.
You bring your little doggy
We
to
do,
your work all the
exactly.
time, either to the show or to your office. It's always possible, but it's important to see what you can and cannot do and where you live. But even a dog in an apartment, a small dog in an apartment, if you have the time to spend with it, no problem.
And they're great company. So you can
Oh,
adopt
yeah.
and you can virtually adopt. You can become a member for just €5 a month of AAA, which obviously helps. And volunteers for driving the animals to the airport. Volunteers to accompany the animals on their flights. Volunteers for walking the dogs on a Saturday. But also volunteers for cleaning.
Yes.
Then also you need supplies. No?
Supplies, yes. Specifically with
Lechia? What do you call lechia in English? Bleach.
Yes, bleach.
Bleach.
Yes. Thousands of liters of bleach will go through AAA, of course. And that's a very, very important item that we use a lot, garbage bags. Although we reuse the bags that we have for food, we use for garbage bag again, the paper bag. So we try to reuse whatever we get. But of course, bleach is very important. Office supplies are important. And for the winter coming on, we were going to need much more towels, blankets, and sheets. No duvets, no pillows, because the dogs, of course, play with them, and within 5 minutes they bite through the pillows or the duvets, and then we have more things to clean up. So the flat things like sheets, towels, and blankets are extremely important for the coming winter, because we don't know how cold it's going to get. And because we are using the front, we could use also like gas heaters. Because electricity heaters won't work too much because it will overload the system. But good gas heaters, if anybody has ever...
You mean like those
any
artichoke things they call them?
Yeah, the artichoke ones,
Yeah,
or the ones that you have the gas inside to be able to keep the dogs warm. Luckily somebody donated a few of the fans for the summer, so the dogs outside still had the fans to kind of circulate the air. And we had tents put up, so then they've been okay for this summer. They've been hot like we've been hot. And anything, any way that can help to clean, cleaning cloths, cleaning materials, bleach is the best. Food, of course, for the dogs.
So there has to be a certain type of food, or do you feed them a mix?
Well, at the moment we're in need of a lot of puppy food. And if you want to donate puppy food instead of money, that would be great. Best thing is kind of call us first to find out what is needed at the moment, because sometimes we have to have special food for dogs that are on a special diet, or they have kidney problems, or leishmania, or whatever they have. The best thing is to call. If you want to donate a bag of food, just call and see what the best thing is to bring.
You have full veterinary services that make sure the dogs are healthy, chipped, castrated. Obviously important to keep the population of abandoned, unwanted animals to a minimum, and castration is obviously the best way we can do this. Home breeding isn't the most recommended,
No.
because more puppies come out than anyone can deal with, and a lot of times you can't give them away. In fact, with AAA you do need to pay to pick up a dog from AAA. A lot of people think, oh, they're going to give them to you, but like with anything, you don't value it if you're given it, and this is a life that's obviously got a lot of costs involved, and you need to
Yes.
be aware of this when you adopt an animal.
Yes, the adoption fee that we ask is just basically covering the costs that we have for the dogs, because every dog will get vaccinated for a full year. It gets the chip, the passport, the registration, and of course, as long as it is in AAA, it gets medical care and food and whatever it needs while it is at AAA, and that's a very costly business when you have 600 animals. I mean, cat litter, for instance. I mean, we have 150 cats, so you can imagine the cat litter that we go through. So that's also a very, very big cost. We also need containers with water. You know, the big bowls. That's nearly 2,000 euros a month only in water that we use, because we're not on a water system, so it has to be brought
You
in.
don't have a water system
No.
up there.
Not yet.
See, we don't. The things we're not taking into consideration
Yeah.
of understanding how it works, and why these things cost so much money
Yeah.
to run. But if you've got
Medication.
600 animals, just starting there.
And it has to be cleaned all day, so there's gallons of water going through all the day. We have to have water to clean and water to drink, which is two different things.
Are there any plans in place for that, do you think? Or
Yes,
do you know?
luckily the City Hall has now, Ayuntamiento, has now promised to try to get us hooked up to the water system below, but that is like where the you know, the Ogen Road, where you have the cemetery, that's where the water line stops. So what they're trying to do now is to bring up the water line to their own system, which is right below AAA, and to us, so that we have a connection to the water. But that is going to take a while before they get that installed. But that is a promise from the Ayuntamiento extra to help us, and they also will now try to help us to have the proper wastewater drainage going down, because we do have a drainage system, but it's not sufficient with so many animals, and they're going to also look into that, how they can help us in changing that.
If people are thinking of adopting an animal, do they come straight to AAA? Should they ring first? What's the best way?
The best way to adopt an animal is to kind of go to the website. There is all the information on it. Says adopt an animal. You just click that on, all the information on how it works. You can read that through and see, and there's a lot of questions you can look at, so that you're kind of prepared to know, because a lot of people don't realize. They come and say, oh, I'd like to have a dog, but then you have to ask, like, do you want a long-haired, short-haired, big, small, one that needs a lot of walking, one that wants to sleep? You know, there's a lot of things that you have to consider in getting a new family member. So the best thing is to look at the website, look at the dogs. All the dogs are on the website with a picture and with videos.
And with as much information
As
as you know
much
about
information from the dogs that we know, of course. And then you can choose a few that would appeal to you, that you think, well, that one would be nice and that one would be nice. Take down the name and the number and then come to AAA, because at that time we can take those specific dogs out of the kennel, because it's a big, you know, it's a big thing to kind of choose between 400 dogs, and a lot of them are just running around. So then we know where the dog is, we can take them out, and then you can meet him personally or her personally and see if it definitely clicks. But it's better to make a selection on the website first.
That's very wise words. And the nice thing is, in the sense of a lot of people are thinking of going to a pet shop because they want a pedigree or they want a particular breed of dog. Well, this lovely chappie here is a pit bull. I mean, you have everything there from all the different breeds. A lot of Podencos, though, which is nice in a way that they're not being put down, because they're hunting dogs that get sacrificed sometimes in some of the more country hunting areas.
Yes, yes.
So
we have a lot of Podencos, and Podencos are actually some of the most beautiful and and soft-kinded hearted dogs. I just love the Podencos because they're very gentle. Actually, as a hunting dog, I don't understand, but they're very gentle, very sweet, sometimes a little bit shy, but absolutely lovely dogs and absolutely beautiful. And some of them are so gorgeous because they have those long, wonderful ears and they have the white stripes. They're actually very, very beautiful dogs and very wonderful family dogs as well. But indeed, we have all kinds of dogs. We have little ones, we have Chihuahuas, we have, not all the time of course, but we get a lot of dogs coming in from families that either don't want them, can't have them or whatever. And then of course the dogs that are found on the streets or in the mountains.
And people like Lily are here helping put them all inside AAA to then shove them all out again to our
We
community.
love to have them a family, of
and
course.
it's great.
Yes.
Finland and Germany seem to be the leading export
Yes,
market
for us.
for adopting our doggies. But of course, as Lily says, don't shop, adopt. Go and pay a visit to AAA on a Saturday to walk the dogs. It's all through the day.
Yes.
You can go and walk the dogs, and they all need walking. You make some great friends, great relationships straight up.
Yes.
And well done you, Lily.
Well, thank you very much, Nicole, for supporting us your way.
Oh.
It's great.
Hashtag better together.
Better together.
Free taxi 4 times a month and 25% discount on your car insurance if you're the Zero Hero.
Yeah, I'm here in Marbella, but it says here I'm in La Canada.
If you haven't mastered the lingo, don't worry. Linear Director has a free GPS geolocator service that will come and find you.
Hey, hey.
We look forward to welcoming you back to another Marbella Now tomorrow evening on RTV Marbella at 8 o'clock. You can watch all the programmes, however, from our website, rtvmarbellanow.com. So it's nice to check up on all the different people that have been on the programme, all the different things that they do that are of much interest to our community, as are being updated in all the local laws and rules, because you can be fined, for example, for taking your garbage out at the wrong time, and you don't want to have that. No one wants to pay fines. It's nice to play the game. Please do make sure that you keep in touch with what's going on. You can do that through the Town Hall website, marbella.es. Thank you for joining us. Take care of yourselves, and we'll be back tomorrow for another Marbella Now. Hasta mañana.